online. Is anything better?
There's like this, like, they sound like they're super far. It's like, I honestly can't be closer to the mic unless I actually start leaning at it. And I don't want to lean because it's going to hurt my back.
So we're live.
We are back live again. Hello, people who waited.
What's up, super fans? It's Tyrene, God Queen, coming at you live. I've been waiting to say that all goddamn day.
I think it might just be your guys' quality. Maybe you got just shit quality. You got to get better quality.
Well,
But the problem is, on my end, we sound fine.
Yeah.
Like, if I do audio
my
test on
levels
my
sound
end, it's
good.
fine.
Yeah, my audio test is coming back fine. I'm getting fine levels from Jordan. I'm getting fine levels from Matt. So if on my end it's good, and on Jordy's end it's good, that must mean the
Gotta go. Sorry. Glad I'm back on Twitch. Sorry you couldn't hang out, but thank you for being here regardless. Have a nice day, Odin. Hope you're doing well.
Surfer are we on?
Have a wonderful day, Odin.
Is that it? Wait, what? Hold on a second.
Because I know that's an issue for you, Doc, and them.
Is that the problem? That doesn't make gosh darn sense.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons and the technical issues.
What has my life become?
Today we will be fighting technical issues with the audio.
Do I have to like?
Initiative.
I'm taking classes in IT, and I'm just sitting here like, fucking, I don't know.
Have a nice
That
day.
seems like everybody's IT issue. They also seem to really hate technology.
Well, I'm.
Oh, in the IT field, you're usually cursing it out, but you can't do it in front of customers.
Well, I'm.
So, like, I've heard stories of people who are like, oh yeah, I work in IT. I don't have the Google House thing. I don't have an Alexa. They have analog most things. They have the one thing that's connected to the internet, and they keep a double barrel shotgun ready to blow that.
Are they still
away.
quiet, guys? Because if they are, I'm gonna shoot myself.
Hey, you're not allowed to shoot yourself.
I'm gonna cry because I don't know what the hell's going. I literally don't know what the hell's going on.
That's
Like-
I've seen you cry once. I don't want to see you cry again.
Yeah, nobody wants to. No one wants to.
Somebody's wedding.
We discovered the BB's technical difficulties. Yep. I mean, please don't. But yeah. Wait.
Don't shoot yourself, but yes, we're still quiet.
Are they? Well, I can't fix it because I have to go offline again, and then I would have to go offline and then change the server and then come back. But I don't know if that's not going to fix the issue because it's coming in fine for my side, but not for you guys.
That's even weirder.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. But maybe just okay. How about this? How about this, guys?
That has to be Streamlabs issue.
How about this? How about you guys in the chat turn up your volume so you guys can hear Geordi and Harper, and then I'll turn my mic down so I'm not blowing your ears out, and we'll just even it out like that. Can we do that? Can we, as a collective, try this out and see if that is fine? Because I want to start, but I also don't want it to be bad quality for the people. I already have you full volume, lol. Well, I don't know what to do. We're just gonna start, okay? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying, but
Half an hour.
yeah. Same though. I just can't. I don't know.
I don't know if it makes. Are we maxed out on Discord for you?
No, I have you guys at here. Well, because if I turn you guys up, they say, hey, it's a little better, but your guys are muffled. Like it actually like peaks out for you guys.
Oh, it distorts us.
Oh yeah, that's not good. That's worse. That's actually just a lot worse.
So here, I'm gonna put you guys at there. If that's any better, let me know, chat. But we're gonna carry forward, and I'm sorry that we have these issues. I really am, because I want to. I literally have no idea how to fix it. But we're gonna continue on. Hopefully, you guys can enjoy it, even without the best quality, I guess. Carry on, my wayward son. I'm exhausted. This is literally like mentally breaking me.
Before we move forward, Matt, I'm going to need you to breathe, and if you have a beverage, take a sip of that.
I have like 3
You can't
beverages.
do a good DM if you're overstressed right now.
I have like
That don't just kill us.
Where's the water? Where's the water?
the water.
Where is it?
How dare you be human and have problems you can't control? I'm sorry. This is me. You get to see the actual me. I'm sweating. This room is hot.
It's because you're in Georgia. It's hot.
Forever.
I need like a fan or something. We're never gonna get this started.
One state over, it's gonna be swamp ass.
Oh, gross. That's a personal TOS for me. So here we're gonna.
What are the terms and service of Matt?
This will randomly spawn. You can't talk about his butt.
Yeah, don't talk about my butt. I got a fat butt, but I don't want you guys talking about it.
Don't disrespect the Hulk or Captain America.
That's probably also accurate.
And don't talk crap about barbarians. Or else a band of barbarians will just come out of nowhere and lay waste to you.
Wreck you.
Teach you some respect.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll start off, and again, I hope you guys enjoy it regardless of whatever's going on. I will try and fix it during like the week, try and see if I can actually figure out what it is. But for now, do either of you guys want to give the recap for last week? We gave a little bit while we were chatting, but as a full recap into this session.
That little bit is about all I read, because I don't remember what.
I can also give the recap as well if you guys would like to.
Yes, let the Dungeon Master do the recap this time around, since to my memory, our last session was me getting annoyed that she kept running away and me trying to stab her repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the fight with the tieflings, the cult of tieflings. There was
The sexy tiefling.
there was a slaughter.
She was pretty attractive.
Yeah, everyone's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Almost
A lot of people are dead. So.
Almost everyone's dead. Yelpin showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Bodies all over the floor, and then turtle.
Yep. So last week.
Actually, here's a summary. Bodies everywhere, tieflings, stabbing, blood, screaming, blood everywhere. Gnome with a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's missing.
Wait. Yeah, let me check something real quick.
Essentially in that order, too.
Oh, and
Actually, in that order.
Jocelyn broke the golden rule of Dungeons and Dragons. Don't split the party.
Yep.
So we have Jocelyn with her guns, me with all my spells, and oh god dang sword. I am rapierless. I do not have my instrument of stabbing. All I have is a knife. I am bringing a knife to a cult fight. This is what I am doing. I'm not even sure if it's a cult fight. I can run as anything in these woods. And all I have is a knife.
So yeah.
I have a little knife.
Okay.
I have a knife, not a knife.
Okay. So, yes, there was a fight with a group of tieflings. They went on a slaughter of the people of Doran. Afterwards, their leader left like a bitch. And afterwards, the gnome merchant Gelbin showed up with his metal construct turtle, sold Titus some wares, some services, and Jocelyn was, during that time, trying to locate her mother, seeing if she was still alive or not. Didn't find anyone in the bodies that looked like her. Didn't find her anywhere in town, but she has a trail leading out into the woods of the mainland, and Jocelyn took off. Titus, seeing that Jocelyn was going down this path, followed her, and they did not inform any of the other crew. So they are going it alone, with the rest of the crew still talking to Gelbin about his wares, and that is where we start off this session. So, you guys are following this trail. it looks like multiple footprints, all of them shoes, nothing that would signify anything like non-humanoid. You would say. As you guys are walking through this trail, it's somehow peaceful. It seemed like the carnage that went on in Doran didn't permeate the woods. A lot of the animals still just roam around. You see one or two deer pass by, birds flying off up ahead. It's a relatively cloudy day, so not a lot of sunshine, but the forest just seems to be relatively calm right now. And as you guys follow this trail, I would like both of you guys to roll perception checks. That was aggressive.
22.
Services. Ooh, Jocelyn, you dirty girl.
What did I... Because Discord for me cut you out during your recap, and I am lost.
Oh,
What point did you say services?
When I was talking about Gelbin, Titus was talking with Gelbin about his wares and services.
Okay.
I mean, they're pirates.
I don't think at no point did Jocelyn talk to Gelbin.
No, because she was very focused on trying to find her mom. So sorry. What did you guys roll for perception?
I rolled an 18.
18. And Jocelyn.
22.
22. So, as you guys walk along this trail, trying to see if there's any other signs of maybe struggle, maybe a different direction they went, you see on the ground, laid in the dirt, is a small line of fresh blood.
Following it. It's fucking...
Okay. So, you guys continue on, and you can see that the one line of blood that you've seen cuts off maybe at about 5 feet, but then it picks up again. Like there's another line, maybe like 2 feet, another line about 6 feet, and then you just see a consistent line trailing off a little bit to you guys' left, and it seems to actually cut off into the actual forest instead of on this kind of dirt path. It goes directly like through foliage and things of that nature. Oh my god, yesterday was a struggle. My dice were just hating me. I couldn't roll above an 8 on a d20. Oh, that's a big fucking F. I'm sorry to hear that, Rennings.
Can we get an F in the chat?
And after this line takes this left turn into the actual woods, the actual foliage of the woods, you see that it cuts off. And you don't see another line as you get about 10 feet in. You don't see another line of blood. You just see it cut off, and then it's just nature, the forest.
I don't like you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm gonna start the session with saying I don't like you.
Just a preface, just to make sure, just to make sure I know.
Just to make sure you know.
Hey, I didn't say you were the prostitute. I was just saying you were buying a prostitute service. They have a considerable amount of gold, so, you know. It's in the...
But Jocelyn's such a loyal character, surprisingly.
I'm a loyal girl. Give me more credit. Yep. So, the trail has essentially ended.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in that direction then.
Okay. Both of you...
Pace.
You hasten off as you're continuing down in this direction. Need both of you guys to make survival checks real quick.
Let me actually roll the fucking dice and not just...
Drop it.
Oh, that also goes off wisdom. That's a 16 for me, dog.
Nat 20.
So, you carry off in this direction, and you can see that there is a bush off to your guys' right. And you see that there's a lot of twigs and some of the leaves that have been scattered around on this ground here. And you see that it looks like someone's pushed two of the bushes back, and there's a small dip in the ground. And you see it dip down and then kind of drives itself lower and lower on the ground level. And you were lost in the woods for the rest of your natural lives. End of camp. That would have been a damn shame. Or they just get eaten by owlbears. One of the two.
Titus refuses to die by being eaten by owlbears. That's how you make Titus a warlock real flippin' quick.
Guess I'm gonna follow the divot.
Right.
I'm just following Jocelyn without alerting Jocelyn to the fact that I'm following Jocelyn. I've not said anything to Jocelyn the entire time.
So you don't want her to know that you're following, correct?
I didn't say that. I just not have alerted Jocelyn to the fact that I am following her.
Passive perception, Jocelyn. What is it?
17.
So you noticed that something was following you about 2 minutes ago. You could hear very muffled footsteps on the ground, but it doesn't seem to be getting any closer to you. You can just sense that when you move, it does follow you. They took 3 arrows to the chest, one of them exploding. Quickly deuced out of us. Well, shit.
Yeah, I'd leave too if something blew up on my chest. That's a weird sentence to say out loud. Not saying that again.
Well, time for someone to clip that. This is the chat's responsibility.
Someone clip that, and then once we become partner, just make that the donation sound.
I'd leave too if something exploded on my chest.
Donation, just bang, bang, bang. I donate $5. I donate $50 in $5 increments, back to back, just to hear that over and over again.
That's amazing.
Good Christ. I'm gonna tighten the grip of my fucking pistol, but I'm gonna keep following the trail I'm on.
Okay.
I'm more worried about where the fuck my mom is than what's following me.
So
If they want to fucking attack me, they can attack me.
Mm-hmm.
Still gonna follow back out, humming the Mission Impossible theme song in my head.
Okay. So, Jocelyn, one last perception roll.
I don't wanna fucking die. 18.
You can hear some whimpering as you get maybe 100 feet down. You can see that there are actually some very large boulders that are kind of set in front of you, and there's a small path that this divot in the ground, this trench, is making. As the ground level kind of gets lower and lower, you feel like you're getting into a valley of sorts. And you hear it just past the rocks there. You can hear some whimpering and a few voices.
I'm going to sprint past the rocks.
You sprint over there. Yeah. And off to the left, you see sitting there are 6 people.
That's a lot of fucking people. That's a lot more people than I expected to see.
One of them looks to have a loose piece of cloth tightly wrapped around their arm. You can see he's a male. 3 of them are female. And there are 2 children. And the one
Not what I'm looking for.
and the one that stands directly next to the guy who has his arm wrapped is your mom.
What? Why? So these people are from the town, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, I feel better. I still hate you.
Honey! Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're safe. And she like runs up to you and hugs you and all that stuff.
I'm gonna hug her back. She's like, glad you're safe. Worried sick.
I'm so sorry. I saw them running. I saw that he got attacked, and I let them out this way, just so that we weren't going to get followed. Is everything passed? Is it all? Didn't realize child was a gender then. I swear they keep adding more and more. I'm glad there's someone here to just break apart everything that I say. I really appreciate that. You know, you're the best. I love it.
Can we add Titus as a gender?
Sure.
Can I just sexually identify as Titus?
Can.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull out the book.
People identify as horses.
Mom chart. I identify as an A-23
Attack helicopter.
helicopter.
Yep.
Whatever the fuck the abbreviation at the beginning is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out the
Can I
book.
identify as a military base?
Hand it back to my mom.
Mm-hmm. Hand it back to her. Gosh. Thank you. Thank you.
Tell
I
him
kn-
to come back to you.
How bad is it?
Pretty bad.
Oh, I would like to add that as I see Jocelyn stop, I'm going to start running now.
You start.
Still not saying anything, just full go.
You sprint, and Jocelyn, you can hear that presence that was behind you. You hear the fast footsteps approaching near the rocks.
Spitting over, holding my gun up, ready to fire.
You hold your gun up, and Titus, you run in, and you see Jocelyn standing there with a group of civilians, and she has her pistol essentially pointed straight at the opening, pointed at you.
I'm gonna see the barrel, and I'm just going to fall with full dramatic fall. Be like, oh shit, don't shoot me.
Why were you just following me? Not say anything.
I'm a bard. I have a flair for the dramatic. It was building suspense, at least in my own mind.
Hey, your suspense almost got you shot. Careful next time.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Probably won't be the last either.
Nope. Probably won't. Titus is gonna go over it. Ah, people.
Yeah.
You see Jocelyn's mom actually run up to you, Titus, and she also wraps her arms around you and hugs you. Thank you for protecting us.
Thank you, woman I have never met before. And then looking at Jocelyn, I'm just gonna mouth, who is this?
Meet my mom.
Oh, hello, Jocelyn. Nice to meet you. I am Titus.
Titus, thank you so much. Thank you. You truly are a saint.
Let's get you guys back to town.
Yes, yes. Hey, everyone, please. We're safe. We're safe. My daughter is with us now. And you see the others stand up slowly. The guy that was holding his arm, he picks up one of the children. You see that looks like it was his child. And the child's just kind of like tightly wrapped around the guy. And everyone leaves out of this little valley. And you guys, following the trail that you guys had made before, you make your way back into town. And the people that were in the group kind of disperse, and Jocelyn, your mom actually stops with you and just like, I want to actually give you something real quick. I want to give it to you before you leave.
I think we'll be here for a little bit, at least for the night. Oh, by the way, we have a friend staying at your house.
That's fine. Oh no, that's perfectly fine. Were they hurt? Do I need to look at them, make sure they're okay?
She was hurt pretty badly, but we have a medic on our team, so he's looking after her.
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah. I'll have them set up in the living room. It's no problem. But yes, come on. And she tries leading you over into the house. You guys can stay in there too. It's fine. I'll make everything up. I'll make sure you guys are all comfortable. And Jocelyn, you see the rest of the crew is still talking with the gnome, and you can see that some of them are holding out these gun-looking devices, but they look strangely shaped and kind of strangely constructed to what you're usually used to seeing. You can also see that there's like the big bracer shields. You can see that there's there's like this woven suit that he has. It's like it's colored in like reddish, like a reddish cloth, and sort of like woven metal mesh material. And you see the rest of the crew is talking with this gnome there. He's getting really excited because there's a lot of people there asking about what he has, and he's just very gleefully explaining all the devices that he carries.
Check him out later.
All right. So you head into the house, and you see that Ultrich is still kind of tending to Menemri. You see that she's laid on the couch there, and Ultrich is kind of slowly pouring one of his liquids, his vials. I know it's going to getting taken very out of context, so I'm accepting it. We're moving on. And the mother comes in. You're the one that's helping her, right? And as she goes over to Aldrich. Yes, she is, she's doing better, a lot better. We just need to know if she'd be able to rest here. Yes, of course. Yes, here, I'm going to get some blankets for her and everything. I'll make you guys some food. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make you guys food. Nope, I'm making food. And she goes off into the kitchen. Aldrich stands up and walks over towards you, Jocelyn. Is there anybody else that needs to be tended to? I would be happy to take a look at them.
Mother got a cut. I didn't really get a good look at the others I brought back. As far as our crew went, I don't think any of us got hurt. If you'd like to make rounds and see if anybody needs help, go right ahead if you feel Menemri's gonna be alright.
Excellent, yes. I just gave her a slow acting pain reliever. Making sure that she's not being racked too much with this injury. I'll make the rounds, though. Back in a short bit. And he makes his way out of the house, slowly closes the door behind him.
Is Menemri still awake?
She is resting right now. That's kind of why Aldrich was giving it to her, just to try and not wake her up. But she is asleep. You can see her just calmly breathing up and down. Doesn't look like she's in any pain right now, but...
Dottis is going to go with Aldrich and assist in healing.
Okay.
Dottis is not much of a healer. I do have some healing talents that should come in handy.
Sure.
To expedite the process.
So, you guys make your rounds through the town. You can see that a lot of the buildings are shut in. And there are some people that are kind of looking out the window, kind of making sure that nothing else is trying to bust in and hurt them. And you guys have made your rounds, knocking on the doors, checking in on everybody. In total, there were about 15 people that had slight to serious injuries that you guys looked over. Aldrich is trying to work really fast to like make up these potions. Like he has a small alchemy kit that he sets down on some of the tables and is like brewing up potions really fast. So he's trying to get those made. You play some of your healing magic on some people, and you guys do good work of making sure that everyone is stabilized and not kind of on the brinks of death for some people.
Whatever potions Aldrich thinks are going to take too long for him to make, I just kind of use my healing magics to stave it off for a while, allowing Aldrich to make a quick pain reliever or sleep medicine in order to put the person to sleep or relieve whatever lingering pain they may have.
Right.
But for the most part, it's mainly just helping him whip up his concoctions and helping administer to people.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. So you guys work as a good team to kind of get through. You work as a team to get through all these people, whether it be through your straight magic or through the potions that he has and crafts. And
yeah, because I only have a limited number of spells prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to burn through all of them in case we come across more serious things.
Right. So while Geordi is gone for the moment, as you guys are making these rounds, you finish up, and oh, he's back. Okay, do that later. So, you guys, I didn't know what you were going to do, so I didn't know if we would continue on with this or. Titus, it takes you about 4 hours. Because, again, there are some more serious injuries. You guys tag team making sure that they're stabilized and healing those up properly. So, you guys take about 4 hours to get through everybody. And while that is happening, Jocelyn, you're at the house. It's maybe 20 minutes that you're sat there until eventually your mom comes out with some very nice ceramic bowls. And she's made some pork soup, essentially. It's what she had at the moment, so she just cooked that up for everybody real quick. Hand you a bowl, and she sits down on one of the chairs. Minnie is still kind of just, it's a very deep sleep, so you see her resting up, and you guys just sip your soup, tasting it. It's a very good quality pork. Imagine probably the same pigs that they used for like the big spit, making like those pork, like those big fillets.
That good pig.
Oh yeah. Is that high quality oink? So
That's a weird sentence that I feel like I will say, but I don't know why.
Right. Oh, sorry. Please, I'll be back in a second. Your mom runs up the stairs. She's very quick, in like 10 seconds, and she comes back down, holding the gold necklace with the small beads on them. She sits back down. She has it kind of like sat on her hand. She reaches it out to you. I want you to have this for protection. I want you to have this for protection. For more protection than you can give yourself. But if you ever come into a situation where you can't shoot your way out of it, I want this to be able to come in. It's part of me sticking with you, at least.
Are you sure?
Of course. You're going on all of these crazy adventures now, and I don't have a use for it right now, because I know that you're going to be out there protecting us from whatever it is that happened there, from anything. You can use it better than I could.
Take it and then I have have to ask, where did you get this? Also, what's the name of that thing again? So, because I never wrote it down. I forgot to save the page.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I believe it's like a necklace of.
It's literally just that blatant, like fireball.
Necklace of fireballs. Yep.
Alright, cool.
This is
It was
D&D. Everything is blatant.
I understand. I'm used to my style of doing shit. Blatant. Like, it's kind of obvious. Not that obvious. Okay, I have it open. I'll copy and paste it to my page later.
Your father actually gave it to me.
Fuck.
Long time ago. I thought it was an idiot because I knew what it was right away, but he just saw it as a nice little token. It's a gift to me.
See it, it looks great.
It is. But it can also be very destructive. Nothing like this has happened in so long. I haven't needed it till now. And even then.
Nuke out!
Nuke! Tactical nuke incoming!
Fucking 30 kill streak, let's go! I would be sad if I actually do that to Prodigy and it just doesn't do anything. I wouldn't be upset with you.
I
Again.
think at that point, I just.
More than you already have.
TOS.
TOS.
Just break every TOS roll possible.
Mm-hmm.
I really have no other comments for this thing.
Sure. So.
Other than the fact that I'm kind of scared to have it in my inventory. What if you accidentally just drop it? Do you just nuke yourself?
Do you want to put it in my bag of holding?
I think the problem is Jocelyn would wear it knowing full well what it could do.
I mean, there's nothing that says it doesn't do that. So I think that's what it would happen. If you just straight up slip out of your hands, it just lets them all go at once.
You have discretion on if you have to, like, fucking huck the bitch. Well, it kind of says you...
Right, it says you... Right.
So I think if you just drop it, it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just, like, walk up and be like, Allahu Akbar. I don't think that'll work.
You have to chuck it at the ground with force. Otherwise, actually no. I think if we gave it to a dragon to put in his hoard, knowing how high like a dragon's hand is, it would drop it. It would hit the gold with force and then probably explode. It's probably a good way to kill a dragon.
Okay, I really need to specify this then. What is the drop height that'll make this bitch explode on me?
I'm gonna say 10 feet.
Okay, so I could wear it, trip and fall like an idiot, and be fine.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
that's
good.
all I needed to clarify. Because I'm like, I don't want something stupid to happen and I nuke myself.
Well, that's the ultimate scare tactic. That's the ultimate scare tactic. You fall and you just burst into this gigantic ball of flames, and then no one fucks with you.
I have to survive. How many fucking bees did you give me?
There's 8. Oh, yeah, there's 8 total.
8? I have to survive
Each
8
one is a fireball.
fireballs.
Yeah, you can do it.
I'm dead.
Just don't trip until like level 15 or something.
Even at mid damage, I would die.
And because it's your item, you have to roll all the damage for your own death.
Mm-hmm.
I think at mid damage I wouldn't even be put to death saving source. It would do enough damage to just fucking kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Wait. So there's 8 fireballs. Fireballs are on a D6, so they'd all have to be ones. How many D6s are in a fireball?
8d6.
What's 8 times 8? That's what you have to beat. At minimum.
Okay, so you guys are sat there. You now have the necklace, and you guys are just eating away. Eventually, you see the rest of the crew start kind of like they all knock on the door of your mom's house, and they're just like, "Oh, is this where Jocelyn would be?" Yes, yes, of course, yes. Please come in, come in. You're her friends, right? Yes, nice. And the rest of the crew enters in. You guys just have a.
Sad. I have been reminded that we don't have Gray.
Yep.
Because I thought about like, oh, how's Gray gonna get home?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I've made myself sad.
Oh. Sad times. So. Everyone. Yep. I'm gonna have that on a sticky note. I'll just have it on my computer here, just like I hate you, signed Geordi, just so that like I always know. So don't worry about that.
That needs to be an emote.
I hate you.
Because that is a common thing I will fucking say every time you're DMing me.
Mm-hmm. So, not too much of an event happens at this moment. You guys all sit around having pork soup with your mom. You guys have some conversations about the things, the adventures, close near-death experiences that you guys have had. Titus and Aldrich, you guys get through your round and eventually make your way back. The whole crew sat there and just like, oh, hey, it's a party.
I'm assuming I have no spell slots at all now.
Yeah, I'd say you shot them all at people.
Yeah. Taking a long rest, so well, we will be soon.
And at the kind of the end of the day, as it starts winding down, you see that your mom is like kind of like starting up some lanterns and stuff like that. It's like, so there is another bedroom. Yeah, we can have one person in there. Jocelyn, you can take your own bedroom. And we can double up if you want. I can get more blankets, more pillows, and all that stuff. I'm gonna make sure. Thank you.
Yeah, look over to like some of the crew members, like, if one of you wants to take my bed, go ahead.
Captain, are you sure?
I'm good to be out here. Kind of like lean back in the chair I'm sitting in.
Well, I'm taking it then. And you see Salem like walk upstairs. She's like, "Yes, of course, I'll be up. Yes, in a second." Well, if there's anything you guys would like to eat, it's in the kitchen, of course. Feel free. I'll stock up on it whenever another merchant rolls in. If another merchant rolls in. Don't worry. I'll make sure that we get enough.
Wait, I forgot something.
Yes.
Did I ever get my sword back from that merchant?
Not yet. If you'd like to, you can go over and get it from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Because I was just like, wait, I never got my sword. I need that.
That is a necessity.
So, you head over towards the gnome, and you see that he's actually set up like full stop, like parked his cart, set up some like on like an awning and stuff like that. What's up? Oh, you gotta check out.
I need to check out the gnome still. Where the audience.
He's like set up an awning and stuff like that, getting some boxes out and things like that. You walk over, ask for the sword. Yes, of course. It didn't take too long. I just had a lot of people around here, and of course, everyone's trying to ask me things, and I'm happy to entertain them. But I wanted to get to work on this. Yes, here you go. One rapier set with the power of push. Here you go. And he hands it off to you.
Nice. I'm gonna kill so many people with you. And I'm gonna start patting the blade. Oh yes, it's a few more gems, a few more things. And once we kill that stupid angel, you're gonna get a name. Oh yeah.
Is that a sentient sword?
Oh, she will be.
Okay. I'm gonna set up my stuff. I'm glad that you like the sword. Yeah. And he just turns around and just puts up some more boxes and things like that, and he doesn't say anything else to you, Titus. He's just looking back at you kind of periodically. He's like
messing with the gnome. I'm just gonna sheath the blade and give a little chuckle and go back to Jocelyn's mom's house.
All right, you can sense that he's like looking back at you periodically, just like, what the hell? As he's like setting up the remainder of his stand. You head back over. Gets to a period where probably 10, 11 p.m. So you guys are relatively tired. Eating your food. Jocelyn's mom has splayed out a bunch of like wool blankets and some like owl bear pillows and things like that. And
you said it's 10 or 11 p.m. What does the sky look like right now?
it looks like nighttime.
Alright, so I'm not gonna put my head on this pillow and get ready to go to sleep, and it's suddenly gonna be daytime. Because if that happens,
Who knows?
I don't care what the current quest is, I'm finding whatever god is in charge of the sun and the moon,
You're gonna stab
and
him.
they're getting stabbed
Yeah.
repeatedly through the heart.
I would love to see that fight. So, you guys are getting ready for bed and everything. Mom takes off to bed, and you guys are initiating your long rest. Titus,
Yes.
as you start falling asleep, you feel like you've gotten a little bit of rest, maybe a couple of hours. And suddenly you feel this strong presence stood next to you.
Silence. I'm trying to sleep. Go back to bed.
Who is this Salenth? And you
Titus is just going to open his eyes.
you open your eyes, and you can see the tips of wings in your vision.
Immediately grabs the rapier and goes to swing full of rage.
Roll the hit.
What's my hit? Oh yeah, you still have to give me the stats for the sword. I forgot what chain.
Oh, so the extra force damage is a D8. So you have 2d8
Okay.
and then the d6 for necrotic.
Alright, so I got a 1d8 base, 1d8 force, 1d6 necrotic, and it works underwater.
Yep.
Alright, cool. Now I just need to be able to now I need to make this bad boy sentient, and I have the best weapon in the world. Alright, and that is a 19 hit.
That will hit, yeah.
Rolling damage. So that 8 plus 6. It's 11. 14 total.
Okay. So So, immediately standing up, you swing your rapier at him, and you see the damage just rip into this being's side, and almost immediately he goes to swing with the mace. Say 27. Does a 27?
No, a 27 hits. I haven't bought new armor this entire time. I've been meaning to get to it, but no one seems to have it.
27 hits everything. Okay, what?
Pretty sure 27 hits a Toran.
Then I need
That was a
one.
lot of dice.
Oh, it was a lot of
I'm
dice.
glad I'm not part of this. Did they?
What's up?
I have questions. Did this thing that is in Titus's, wherever the fuck he's at, did that go through the front door? Or did it just appear?
We're not sure.
Because
Because you are asleep. And you didn't hear anything.
What? Bitch.
So 7 bludgeoning damage. And 18 radiant damage. Does a 27?
Is this the part where you fuck with Titus and not me?
How much damage is that total? That was like 18 plus 7, that's 25 damage?
Mm-hmm.
God.
A 27 does hit a Terrest. Terrest's armor is 25.
I also need...
Cool.
I also would like you, Titus, to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 15.
Used in your sleep.
This is why Titus drinks. He can't dream if he's drunk.
So that does fail it. Just barely. So as you've slashed at this thing, and it essentially just uppercuts you, like swings up into your gut. It sends you flying into the wall for 2 bludgeoning damage. You're sent into the wall when the DM, really pretty high key, just wants to flex those numbers. It's what it is, though. I'm sorry. So.
Oh wait, you said that was radiant damage?
Yes.
How much radiant damage was that?
18.
Okay, I have to cut that in half. I'm resistant to radiant.
Okay.
So 9.
Okay.
SMR.
Yep. So you're swung at with the mace, sent skittering to the wall, and you hit it. You don't go prone, but you're essentially just pushed and slammed into the wall. There's a little bit of the wood that splinters away as your body impacts it. And stood in front of you is this humanoid winged being with golden hair and gray skin, wielding this large golden mace.
God?
I do not wish to hurt you any further. I just mean to talk.
Talk is cheap, you son of a bitch.
For denouncing the path of heroism, you seem to have employed it quite often lately.
Oh, well, I can't get strong enough to kill you without going on adventures now, can I?
I can bring them back. Both of them.
You know, in all my years of running around, adventuring, getting into fights, I've heard, oh, we can bring your family back numerous times. If a necromancer couldn't do it right, and several dark entities couldn't, what makes you think I'm going to believe you're a divine ass?
He holds up his empty hand. You see translucent energy leave his hand and making into sort of this swirling cloud of magic standing before you. And then you see 2 figures start walking. They're essentially looking at like silhouettes for a second, and then you start to see the details and the clothing. And from this cloud of energy, you see the images of your parents. Titus, it is good to see you, son. They are right here. Yes, Geordi?
How many hours into sleep has this happened?
Saying about 2 hours into the long rest.
Just curious.
Realize the encounter is harder than... Also, DM, well, I didn't mean for us to fight. Let's be friends. I'll explain this at the end. Don't worry about
I know what's going on. I get it. I don't get it. I kind of understand what's... But I don't know the full backstory to it.
They are within my reach. I can bring them back.
So what's to believe you? What's this to stop you from lying to me? Or just killing them again?
Because that is not my purpose. It is to bring those who are destined and take them on their path. You could have great promise. We just want you to see this.
What in the nine hells do you want from me?
We want you to become who you're meant to be. The dedication.
God, if you say I'm a fucking cleric or a paladin, I'm going to stab you again.
You're not meant to fit into a class. You're meant to be above it. This is what your lineage brings you.
So far my lineage has brought me dead parents, fucked up memories, voices that haunt me endlessly. I'm pretty sure one of those is yours.
And I bring you reprieve.
And a very good liver.
I can bring you them right here and right now. You can insight him if you'd like.
No, Titus won't. Titus has dealt with him enough to know when he's bullshitted.
All we ask is that you put your devotion, your dedication into what you are meant to be. A voice of the Celestials and protector of their domain.
So you want me to go around singing praises?
Among other things.
So the slayer of the wicked, defender of the good, singer of the divine's praises. That's what you want me to do.
That is all they ask.
And if I tell you to go fuck yourself,
then you find consequences worse than you can imagine.
oh, worse than dead parents.
Worse. It is not difficult. Just say, I accept, and they become reborn. And you find purpose where you belong.
One, I have purpose, you angelic bastard. I may not be the hero that you want me to be. A lot of people consider me. Two, I'm not agreeing to shit till I know the full extent of what the hell you're asking.
of that becomes explained, just say I accept.
As I said, I'm not accepting anything till I know exactly what I'm doing.
Fine. And he brushes his hand. You see the cloud of energy dissipate away and the image of your parents washed away. This will be your last chance.
Fine then. If you're not explaining, I'm not. If you're not gonna talk, then you can go. Next time I see you, I'll be coming for your head.
We will see. The strings of fate are strung in precarious places. And you see that his figure gets washed in radiant light, flashing. And then when it dies down, the figure is gone.
Tyrus is just going to lean back against the wall and he's just going to start crying. I'm sorry, Dad. Fuck, I'm sorry. And then just slowly drift off to sleep.
All right. You fall asleep. The night continues on uneventfully. And eventually everyone is awoken by daylight cascading through their windows. You all are prepared, eating breakfast, generally just having a more or less relaxing time. As you guys
I'm
are
still asleep wherever I was knocked over to.
you were actually woken up by Salem as you're laying in your spot, sort of shakes you awake. Titus. Titus.
What? What's going on? Is he back?
Who is back?
Nothing. Nothing, Salem. Is it morning?
It is. There's food being prepared if you'd like to indulge.
Yeah. Where's Ultra?
Aldrich. He is downstairs.
Alright, good. And Titus is going to stand up, clutching his entire ribcage, sheathing his blade, and just make his way back downstairs to Ulrich.
All right. So, you make your way down. You can smell the pork belly and the eggs being cooked. And you see that there's a large table that's been brought out where the crew and Jocelyn's mom are all eating breakfast. You can see that Evelyn and Aldrich are talking to each other, just kind of back and forth bantering as they eat their breakfast. Yes.
I'm just gonna sit down next to him.
Okay.
I need something for pain and broken ribs.
What is it? What is it that happened last night? No, never mind. It's fine. Let me get my satchel and I will take care of it. And Aldrich stands up pretty quickly and grabs his bag. He reaches in, and you can see that there's a very small vial of a viscous blue liquid. Nothing inside, just kind of like a rigid salve that he has, and he hands that off to you.
Alright, as he gets that, Titus pulls off his coat, shirt, his armor, and there's just lots of scars and from previous encounters, and then the large, I assume a very large bruise on his chest from having it smacked in by an angelic freaking mace.
What did you do to yourself last night?
You know how I don't like angels?
You've made that apparent, yes.
Well, the winged bastard showed up last night. And with that, Titus just takes the vial and downs it.
Does the door in this house lock?
It does lock, yes.
I'm going to go check to see if the door is still locked. No one has left yet.
Nobody, or everyone is sat at the table that you know is here, and when you go to check the door, it is locked. You just kind of shake the door a little bit, check the lock there, and it is secure.
How the hell did he get inside?
Angels, they teleport. They can move wherever the fuck they want, honestly. God, I hate them.
Christ. More bad news following us around.
Oh, no, don't worry, he's only after me. He might come after you guys now, mainly to torture me further. I don't know.
No, if he's after you, he's gonna get a piece of all of us, don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah, assuming he decides to fight fair, not attack me while I'm sleeping again.
Well,
Divine.
it's like you're staying bunked with someone.
Oh, probably. But yeah, showed up last night, offered me his chance to basically fulfill what they wanted from me from the start. Want me to go around singing their praises and all that good shit. Even offered me my parents back.
Judging by the bruise you didn't take.
Oh, I got the bruise before he even spoke. The moment I saw those wingtips, I went immediately for the throat. I missed. For like a foot. Got his abdomen. Got punted into a wall. With a mace. Still hurts.
Oh, it's a bad start to negotiations.
Yep. Basically, it was either accept the deal, or more divine punishment upon my already cursed ass. So.
Well, that looks like a problem we'll be solving sooner rather than...
Depends. You know, I almost took his damn offer.
Why didn't you?
One, tell me the specifics. I don't like not knowing the specifics of a certain deal I'm getting involved with. Too many bad deals with warlocks, you see. Two, pride. I spent 8 years hunting this bastard. 3, in general, I don't like being told what to do. I don't want to be beholden to them. Seeing their praises after it. One of them slaughtered my family, one of them killed our crew member, and one of them's fucking around with the goddamn sky. How in my right consciousness am I supposed to go around telling everyone how good and great they are? No, things show the exact fucking opposite. How am I supposed to do that?
Well, seems your moral compass is good enough to not lie through.
Oh, I'll lie straight through my gut. But if I'm lying for something, it's something I actually care about.
And that's where the moral compass comes into play.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Where did I put my shirt? And Titus is just gonna reach around for her shirt and put that back on.
We are probably the oddest crew of pirates anyone has ever met.
But that is what makes us great.
Mm-hmm. There's an armor smith in this town, right?
There was.
A lot of things are dead in this town now.
The store is still around, but he is not.
Need to find armor, something better than leather.
I don't think
I was
that's right.
wearing armor and it still hurt. Like, God. I'm pretty sure that might have actually killed me if I wasn't resistant to celestial damage.
Oh, we can go raiding the blacksmith shop after this.
How about we actually buy something?
I'd
For
like
sure
to
you might have
not
had a family.
raid my hometown.
Well, I... Right, okay.
I know we're pirates, but let's not be that stereotypical sale. I like the energy. Save that for when we run into a bandit camp. We'll raid that. Or some corrupt duke's house. We'll raid the shit out of that.
Right.
You know a candelabra can sell for over 100 gold? It just holds candles.
What?
Yeah, it's just like they have silver candelabras. They just hold candles. And they're worth like 100 gold a piece. You know how much we can get for a chandelier?
It's a scam.
We could probably buy a new boat with a chandelier.
Oh, that's fucking great.
I should have probably asked this earlier.
Chandelier on this boat.
Should have probably asked this earlier, but what's our next move then? Showed up. Slaughter happened. Where do we go?
That wasn't the plan, but
Alright.
Right.
Pursuing
Yeah, no.
Thundernuts. Actually, here, let's lay out our options on the table. Why did we come to the land in the first place? We're looking for Thundernuts, right?
yeah.
That is what
Hopefully
was
we get right
explained.
back.
Alright. So we're here on the land looking for Thundernuts. We know Thundernuts is somewhere further inland, assuming he's still stealing after the ass whooping we gave him. Because
The
I'm
real
not
tick.
sure exactly on the full extent.
Thank you for the
of what
host.
happens.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
The real thing is hosting.
I don't know if you're hanging around, but thank you regardless.
Thanks for the host. We appreciate.
Appreciate your face.
You know, Thundernuts is somewhere further, and that's probably where he's from. And then we have the damn tiefling problem, which we may or may not have to get further involved in. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm pretty sure the angel is just gonna come find me wherever I am. He seems to have like a GPS locator or some kind of spell shoved up my ass.
Kinky.
Well,
Well, at least we don't have to worry about tracking him down when we start tracking. When we start tracking him down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I start yelling for him, he'll show up eventually to smash my face in with his maul.
I wonder if he'll be so keen on a trap if we lay for him, but we'll deal with that at a later date. If we get to that point, I guess. I think I'd like to stick to my goal of finding our good friend Thundernuts.
We really have to learn that man's name.
Well, we did. Well, I did. The last thing he scrawled on Gray's chest was, Prodigy.
Oh, cool. That's a dumb fucking name.
What's your name? Ezekiel!
Ezekiel!
That's
The
a
dumb-
dumb fucking name!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
I just remember at the plant just seeing each other. We would just yell that.
What's your name? Tony. Fuck you.
Dude, Tony.
Fuck you. What's your name? What?
What's your name? Ezekiel.
It's just that part I can quote word for fucking word.
Yep.
And only that part. Before and after that, it's hazy.
All right, D&D. We would go way off track if we just started going down that rabbit hole.
Me and you can rant for hours about random shit.
Yeah.
We have learned this from the many times we've had breakfast.
Breakfast sounds so good right now. Crepes sound good.
Pancakes.
Ooh, biscuits and gravy. Oh god, biscuits and gravy.
Anyways, so.
Crawfish sound good. Then go for crawfish. I want crawfish.
On some crap.
I wonder. I want to go talk to the gnome.
Okay. So, you head out. Gnome he is actually set up in like a small cot. Looks like he's still sleeping. But you walk over and you see his assorted wares set up on some built-in shelves on the side of the cart, and then some little boxes that also hold some of the items.
I want to knock on the counter or whatever.
Yes, I didn't speak to you yesterday. What?
Yeah, it's a little preoccupied.
Yes, you're looking to buy, correct?
Maybe.
All right.
What you sell?
Oh, well, I sell a lot of assorted things. Here, let me show you some of them real quick. Time to pull up my this is shitty DM. I don't have this up. There it is. So,
Oh, a minigun.
I want to. Is there anything specific that you usually are tailored for? Anything that in particular that you would like to improve about yourself?
I'm gonna drop both my pistols. This is my style.
Yes. And he runs over. He starts grabbing all the guns he has. Just splays them out on the counter. It's just like, oh, yes. Well, I have this one. Okay, so here. And you see that there's this relatively larger pistol. It has a very wide barrel. And you can see that the whole thing is crafted in metal and what looks like ceramic on the handle. This here, this is a fun one. Yes. That box over there, he points over towards that box. It's just a wooden crate. Nothing too specific. And he takes a hold of it. He has with two hands is just looking down the iron sights of it and fires it. And you see this cylindrical wave of force emit from the gun's barrel, and as it hits the crate, the wood splinters and crashes down around you. Some of it lands 10, 15 feet away from the initial spot where it sat. Gives a little bit of kick. Oh, and this one. Here, hold on a second. This one. So, it looks like he holds it looks like a large horseshoe. Kind of a steel-looking metal. And you see that there's a handle in the center of it, kind of like how the horseshoe goes like that. In the center of the horseshoe is a handle. See a triggering mechanism on both sides of the handle. So there's one that you would press with your index finger and one you would press with your pinky. And you see on each end of the horseshoe there are two small barrels inlaid with the actual so it's like a barrel and then there's the casing around it. So the barrel doesn't stick out necessarily, it's kind of inlaid into the actual gun. This one is good. It took me a short bit to actually be able to configure it with the gems and all of that, making sure that they didn't clutter up the barrel and everything like that. But this one does a little bit of elemental damage. See here, and he points the gun up, like an angle in the air. He presses the one with the index finger, and it fires out this very small canister. And as it reaches kind of the apex of its arc going through the air, there's a ball of fire that like erupts out of the canister and just engulfs in like this 5-foot area and then dissipates in the air. And then the other one, same thing, except this time it explodes with ice. Kind of same thing, like a 5-foot radius. It explodes in this icy ball with frost and a little bit of snow raining down on the ground, and then all that cold dissipates away. Something like that. Ooh, and this one. You see that he actually holds up a sort of like a thunder cannon-esque gun, like a very long barrel and stuff like that. And this one, you can see it looks essentially like a blunderbuss, but it has a mechanism on like the very back of it where kind of like a chamber would be. And as he fires it, you see that there's stringent acid that erupts out of the barrel, and almost in a ball, it lands on another crate and just dissolves the wood away. Anything like that within your wheelhouse?
Fancy weapon here. More unique than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Being an artificer, I want to innovate. I want to push the bounds of technology that we have to new limits. And this is it. It's a small stage, of course, but it's something. It's something that kind of it's something I can offer. If it's not guns, I have other things too.
I'll come back. I have a question.
Yes.
How long do you plan on staying?
Well, I mean, the festival usually lasts about 3 days. But since there is no festival anymore, I would probably be leaving at the end of the day today.
How much? You're going more inland, right?
Yes. Well, actually, I'm actually heading over towards Galdron. I'm making my loop around and then have to go back to the capital and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, technically, if you want, just a little bit off to the northwest there, is Galdron. Are you from around here?
Yeah, but I'm looking for someone, and I need somebody to give a ride for me and my crew.
Dead?
What's up?
I don't know where
OG?
he is.
Yeah, what happened to our first cart driver? Is he dead? Did he bail like the moment things started getting shady?
Yeah, he pretty much bailed out.
At least we only paid him for that one ride. We didn't pay him in advance for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
If I see him, I'm gonna steal him from him.
Yeah, I can if if you need a ride. How is it? Just the Galdron? Where else is it that you're looking to go?
Almost everywhere until I find who I'm looking.
I see. Well, there is going to be a cost, of course. I'm sorry I can't be altruistic and offered free, but there's a lot of detouring and stops, and if it may be a little bit, but I'm certainly willing to for a small fee, of course.
That's why I said I'd come back to the guns. I'm wondering how much you're going to charge.
Yes. Well, it's weeks travel around. Can we say 100 gold for the first trip?
Say that works.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Then yes. You can come along. You can come along with me. Galdrin is it's a little bit more it's a little bit more strict, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. They're they're busy doing other things anyways. They shouldn't be too worried about us.
We'll open up.
Mm-hmm.
Just note, it would be me and I gotta count people.
I believe there are 6 of you right now.
6, yeah. Easy.
Oh wait. So you, Titus, Salenth, Aldrich, Minimri, Evelyn, Yeezy. So 7.
So including me, there's 6 others that'll be tagging.
That's one of them can ride what do you name the turtle usually?
I don't think I ever got around to getting him a
Fucking
name.
turtle.
Yeah, one of you can ride the turtle if you'd like.
We're putting Yeezy on the turtle.
And he would fit.
No, we're putting Salenth on the turtle. I want everyone in the chat to imagine a large dragonborn riding a metal turtle and trying to be very serious about it. I need all of you to picture that right now.
This is a little bit embarrassing as he's just like just bumping along with on the turtle's back.
Imagine when he finds the turtle on the turtle.
Benji the turtle.
Yeah, this is me.
The turret turtle. He's a turret turtle.
He's a tank.
The turret turtle tank. And his name, Benji.
It may be a little tight, but we can make it work. Yes. If one of you wants to sit up here on the bench, we can make it work. Of course.
I feel like you'll get most along with Easy, and not because he's a gnome.
Oh.
Because he has just as many crazy stories as you probably do.
That'd be wonderful. Sometimes it's a little sometimes it gets a little lonely, So I'd love the company. It'd be amazing. Christ. Is there anything else that you're looking?
I have a character. How much gold did we get?
It was 12,000.
Because I never wrote that down.
Yep.
How much did we spend?
You probably haven't even broken 500 yet.
Okay.
I was taking from my actual gold that I started with. I never added that, so now that I added that, I'm back up into a safe amount of gold. And as for that acid gun thing.
Yes. How much?
I'm scared to ask what the price of that is.
So for this, it did take a little bit longer. It does a considerable amount of damage. One thing you should note is that it is a single fire. So you will need to wait for it to cool down. But it does a good amount of damage for its capabilities. This one I'm sitting at 800 gold.
Ow. To be willing to do 650?
Persuasion check.
It's gonna be like the first time I actually tried to barter. What the hell is persuasion? Where the fuck is persuasion? Oh my god, I'm proficient in persuasion. Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, brother.
19.
19. He thinks about it, and then he looks up. You seem nice enough. You seem nice enough. Yeah, I could do 650. Sure. You are going to be... We are paying for the rides as well, so that should be more than fine.
Alright, now I can't do math. Or math, but that's a different story.
I mean, you could. It's just optional if you are going to.
I gotta find a dealer. That's difficult in of itself. It's too much hassle. Not worth the time. Okay, there we go. I figured out my pricing. I figured out my gold.
So yeah, you are now in possession of a blaster gun.
Fucking what? Can this... Okay. Would I be able to... The same way I would have my short sword kind of like over my back in the sheath, but I'd be able to do that with that gun?
Yeah, you can attach like a leather strap to it where it goes along your back.
Blaster. What does that do?
So...
What plus does that take?
So it's going to be based on... It'll be your dex as well.
Okay.
And you will need to use it for a short bit before you can add proficiency to it. But it'll deal the same amount of damage, same effects, just not the proficiency yet. I'll send you this stuff over... Facebook.
What damage does it do?
I've sent it to you in Facebook. As you're up at the stand, Jocelyn, you actually see that the Rune Squad is still set up at the town right now. Like they're actually taking up one of the other houses. Who knows? I haven't talked to them yet, so you see them in the house, but you just see them. Like they're not within range to talk. You just notice them.
Wait. There we go. Cool. So this thing's like essentially a blunderbuss
Yeah, essentially.
design? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not... You don't need to reload it since it is powered by a gem in the chamber, but it does have that one action cooldown.
Plus 4 acid 4. Okay. Yeah, that's all I wanted to do.
Okay.
Secure a ride and buy a new gun. Because I need more stuff.
So now you could give those off to Menemery if you wanted. Have her just be another gun, full-on gunslinger now. Wait.
How much for the horseshoes?
The horseshoes.
You've not given me an idea.
Oh Jesus Christ. So horseshoes. Yeah, they could do a good amount of damage as well. I'm usually capping those off at 1,000.
That's good. That's breaking the bank right there. I actually can't do that. Especially because we still need money for more travels afterwards. And while it's possible to make money at the town, not this town, but the next town. This town
to
is
make
dead.
some money. Tries to make some real bank. As long as everybody's okay with certain things.
As long as it doesn't involve me. Sure. Well, as long as it doesn't involve me and lustful sins. I'm fine.
I mean, Titus is going to need you to stand outside the door with those guns ready in case anything happens.
No, I can do that. Oh, I can do that easy. Fuck, I'll fucking need me to. I'll dance for a crowd too.
I'll dance. You got Emery as well. You guys can do. You get a pretty good.
I don't trust Emery to dance without her organ spilling out on the floor. Not right.
How much for one horseshoe?
Well, that is for one horseshoe.
It's for one? I thought it was for both.
What is he charging for a horseshoe?
Well, it's a gun in the shape of a horseshoe, so I'm just calling it a horseshoe.
Why is there a gun in the shape of a horseshoe?
I don't know, but it shoots out explosive shells of fire and ice.
Yeah. I'll send you the stats there.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna be traveling with the guy.
I know. I just wanted to see if I can get one for Emery, like, right off the bat, so she actually has 2 different pistols.
I mean, doesn't have to be 1,000.
I'd have to barter that down almost half of it to feasibly have enough money to still survive.
Just getting that 20, man. Oh, I sent you the stats for the horseshoes in Facebook as well, just so you maybe understand.
The blaster gun cheaper than this fucking thing.
Well, because that one has the 1 action cooldown. This one you can fight, like, it has 6 rounds for each element. And that would also be including the canisters, because that you do have to reload.
Oh, Jesus. It's a horseshoe, not a very. It's Adelaide. I can't. I'm not even gonna tempt my fate with trying to persuade him down that price. That's a fucking ridiculous price. It's fair. It's fair.
I'm mostly just going off the fact that you were saying it's going to be pretty high prices, so that's kind of just what.
No, that's exactly what I would have done. I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the fact
that you have to be on the other end of it and be like, well, fuck, how much?
I'm upset that we haven't done enough things to warrant getting money.
Yeah.
We've mostly just been fighting angry things that are angry at us for fuck knows why. They are.
That's probably my biggest detriment at the moment, is making quests that actually give money as opposed to just death.
Don't worry, I'll help at the next town as long as it doesn't get slaughtered.
Well, now that you say something.
Knows how to make bank.
We have the bard who knows how to do bard things.
Yeah.
And
Favorite heart, so I know how to like, actively look for quest things to be like, who needs help? Where's the posted board thing? Posted board, what the fuck?
Bounty board. Yeah.
There's the fucking word, Jesus Christ. Where's the bounty board so I can go fucking capture some bounties or do some fucking help?
That would most likely be in the other town as well, in Galdrin.
Alright, well, yeah, I'm good for now until we travel.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing else. Expensive little fucker.
So, Jocelyn, you have obtained what you need from the gnome. Titus, what is it that you would like to do?
I'm gonna use the bathroom.
Okay.
Well, after eating, downing whatever, I forgot our healer's name.
Aldrich.
Oh my god.
Aldrich? Yep.
After downing whatever Aldrich hands me to help with my busted up ribs, I'm gonna grab Salenth and Aldrich, and we're gonna go get armor. Because I have a feeling, one, Salenth doesn't need it, but I'm bringing him anyway because I figured he would like to look. I don't know, you might find a single shoulder pauldron for his massive bulging arm. And Aldrich needs something because I don't need the white mage going down. I can't heal everybody.
So yeah,
This is not something I want to deal with.
So yeah, you take those two, and you head over to where you can see the blacksmith shop is, and you don't see any sort of light on inside. You just see that shop's there, and the door is swung open slightly.
I kind of just push the door open a little bit and step in. Hello?
You step in, and the first thing you sense is a strong scent of rotting meat.
I just cover my mouth and nose and begin looking around.
You look around. You're not seeing anything at the moment. But as you continue the walk in, you see Salent and Aldrich also just like... Well, Salent covers his nose. He's like, oh, God, what is that stench? Aldrich just kind of like walks in. These are nice leathers. And as you're walking in, looking around at the shop, you notice that there is a pool of blood running from behind the counter.
Guys, we missed one. And I just look behind the counter.
You look behind and you see the body of a burly older human with what looks like a axe held in one hand, and you can see that the throat, the chest, and the arms have multiple slashes through them. And you see that the body is just oozing out into that pool of blood, and some of the flies have started to now like swarm around it. That's where you're sensing that smell coming from.
Prestidigitation changes smells, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm gonna use prestidigitation to get rid of the smell.
Okay. So you cast it. It's almost like you see kind of the heat dissipate away from it. You have that magic flowing around it, and it becomes neutral again in the blacksmith.
So he's dead.
He is dead.
So he counts as an object.
What are you doing?
I'm just gonna mend all those wounds closed.
Okay.
Since technically speaking, he's an object. Use prestidigitation again to get rid of the blood on the clothes, and have Salem take him over to wherever the Undertaker is. I assume this town has one, and his business is booming.
Yeah, he Salem takes him off, and he heads out with the blacksmith's body hung over his shoulder. He's gone for a few minutes, but you can assume he's going off to see an Undertaker. Aldrich is still looking around. He hasn't noticed anything about like the body or anything like that. He's just like, this could be quite nice.
Does I could just use prestidigitation to clean up this entire shop, can't I?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I imagined. If it's a cantrip, you just freshen up the shop.
I'm just gonna start using prestidigitation. Just I'll grab a broom and get like some of those finer things, but just in general, it's like a broom, prestidigitation, maybe a rag.
Mm-hmm.
You instantly clean an object no larger than 1 cubic foot with prestidigitation.
So it's just me finger gutting the entire floor, just like, there we go.
It's a very meticulous job, but Titus is willing to do it.
Titus is just like, alright, let's go.
That needs to be a fucking maid service.
That's how I'm making money in the next 10. Titus's maid service. Tiny Titus. Boom. Done. Trademark. Let's go.
Just walk into a house and just finger gun everything, and it's all clean.
I also offer clothes repair because I have mending. Done. Good. Sweet. Let's go. I know how I'm making bank. Putting that on the character sheet. Tidy Titus's cleaning service.
Opens up a business in the mainland. Pirate? What is this pirate? Nah, I'm gonna open this shit up.
I know what I'm doing when I retire. If I get to retire, boom, Tavern Tidy Titus's maid service on the side. Ooh, got it.
Ooh, boom. All right, so you have effectively cleaned up this blacksmith. Aldrich is still just checking out the armors. Too heavy. It's too ornate. I don't need anything fancy like that. Hasn't noticed anything about it.
Right. That's all clean. I'm gonna begin looking around to see if this guy has any, like, family memorabilia, like pictures, drawings from kids, anything like that.
You see that underneath the counter there is a piece of parchment where it's drawn on, looked like an ink pen. It doesn't look like a young child, like someone who is actually able to make a coherent picture. It looked like actually a drawn face of the blacksmith and signed from Rose.
Hey, Aldrich, you think this guy had a family?
He looks over. Sorry, Titus, was it that? He starts walking over. Oh.
Well, while you were looking at armor, I cleaned up the entire shop and sent Stanley to drop off the body at the Undertaker. Was just checking to see if this man had any family, so I need to know if I actually need to leave money when we take the armor and leave.
He notices the picture that you're holding on. Probably a daughter of his.
You stay here, watch the shop. I'm gonna go ask around really quickly.
Oh,
Keep staring at armor, but keep those ears open.
I will do so. And he continues looking around.
I'm gonna quickly ask around, like, if anybody knows if the blacksmith had any family, children, wife, anything like that. Any living family.
So you knock around for a little bit. Eventually there are some people held up in a house that say that they're actually friends of the blacksmith. His name was Oscar. And he was a small business, but people liked him. He was generally a pretty cheery guy. He has a wife and a daughter that they say is named Rose. But he also has his parents in the capital, and they say they haven't looked at the bodies, especially since it's a horrific scene, and they're trying to write out to the capital to get someone to clean it up. But they say that if his family is still alive, they would probably have retreated to the capital.
So, if his wife and kid are still alive, they've already hightailed it all the way to the capital.
Right. Maybe a plan of theirs, but they say that they're not sure. He's kind of talked about it in passing, but nothing like specific details.
Okay, then. I'll keep that in mind.
Right.
But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going back to that shop, and I'm looking for the highest quality light armor I can find.
Well, bud boy, you're in freaking luck, maybe. Let me see here. You could get some good What leather do you have right now? Or, sorry, not leather. What armor do you have right now? You have leather? So...
I've been sitting here wearing What have I been wearing? Yeah, I've just been wearing leather.
So you could obtain some studded leather that also looks to have a few blue gems on it. You see that the gems still have like linear waving energy passing through it. There's about 3 of them in total that are lined on the chest plate of this armor. But it is studded leather, and actually, can you make an Arcana check for me real quick?
Arcana. Nat 20.
So you actually recognize these gems as tanzanite. Normally for artificers, specialized spellcraft or spellcasters, and for armories, blacksmiths, they're used mainly for empowering objects that they are imbued into. So you can imagine that this is a studded leather armor set with at least a +1 to it.
I'm going to set that on the counter. I'm going to put 2 down on the counter. 1 for Aldrich.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look into the more medium armors.
Medium.
Yeah, something like a chain shirt or a breastplate.
You do see a breastplate, and there looks to actually be it looks relatively new, and it actually made of a metal that you haven't quite seen before. But as you kind of examine it, you can just feel like kind of grasping onto it and investigating it. You can feel that it's actually seems like a stronger metal than you've seen before.
Nice. Solid. I'm going to try it on.
Okay. So you slide it on, and it seems to actually fit you relatively well. It looked like someone maybe of your body type in the sense that it's just more of an average size. Doesn't matter if you're, average size fat, average size bulky, average size however, but it seems to fit that like very baseline humanoid size.
Now the breastplate, it's not just the breastplate, it's just like that's the main piece of it. There's still like the shoulder pauldrons, the arm cards.
Right. Yeah, that's just the most prominent piece of metal that you see, and that's where you kind of notice that difference in metal that's made of.
I'm gonna run. Yeah, let's do perception on that.
Okay. Actually, can you make a history check for me?
Man, this is the one time I wish I had access to Legend Lore. History goes off of... Is it a dump set? I swear to God, it's a dump set. God damn it, it's a dump set. Thank you, Jack of all trades. 12.
So, you have heard in passing that these mines have actually discovered a new type of metal. A little bit stronger than the standard iron or steel. And it's been referred to as titanium. But when I say titanium, or when they've named it titanium, they literally mean it to reference it like the giants, like titans of ancient history. So you know that it is a more durable metal. You don't know as far as applying it to armors and weapons how exactly it benefits. But you know that it is durable, and it's actually been a more recent discovery in the mines.
Alright, yeah, I'm taking this.
Okay.
Aldrich,
Yes.
there's armor on the counter for you. I'm gonna need about 5 to 10 minutes.
Ah, tanzanite. This is a good find, Titus. Thank you. And he
You're welcome.
dons it on him, kind of getting a feel for it, stretching it around a little bit. More protected than ever.
And now I'm gonna get fancy with this. So I'm gonna take off the full breastplate, lay it down, take off my coat, and see if I can find like a decent sized leather trousers that would fit.
So, you don't see anything in the front of the shop. But you do go in the back, searching out everything that's in here, and you do eventually see, set off in a box on one of the shelves, is a set of leather pants.
I try them on.
Try them on. They are a little bit baggy, but you could easily get some rope maybe, or you could just you could just gain like 20 pounds or something like that. One of the two. Little baggy, but strapped up with the armor, you could feasibly use these without issue. Maybe a little...
I take off the pants, go back over where I left my coat and the armor, and using my knife, I kind of get a rough guess of how slim I need to make these pants. Remove that much fabric to kind of tighten it up a bit, and then use mending to put it back together. Even if I have to spam mending, I will.
Alright.
And then I'm assuming there's like some kind of like thread and needle laying around a blacksmith shop, like a heavy duty needle to go through leather.
Another thing that you would find in the back, but eventually searching around you do find one. A little bit of thread,
Right.
not too excess, not too much excess.
Alright. So I begin pulling pieces off the armor, like starting with the legs, attaching that onto the leather pants, threading it up a bit, mending the rest to get it nice on there. And then I begin taking the pauldrons and the arm guards, sewing and mending that onto my coat, making sure that's all nice, fitted, everything's in place. And then I put that on.
So you get that on. The coat already fits you well, and you place on the armors. You're getting used to a bit of the weight, especially, again, this metal is a tad bit heavier with its durability, a little bit more tensile strength. So you get a little bit used to the weight, but as far as wearing it, as far as mobility and everything like that, it seems to work.
Alrighty then.
Looking very dashing, Titus, and ready for battle.
Thank you, Ulrich. Can't go into the battle without looking good. Not my Sunday best, but if I die in it, might as well be buried in it.
Fashionability could be one sense of the word. So, is there anything else that we would be looking for here?
Boards. We're gonna need boards.
I see. And you guys start searching for that. While you were doing that, Titus, Jocelyn, you see that the Rune Squad, it looks like they've packed up their things and kind of looking over the bodies. The Wood Elf with the swords, you just see him like walk out and immediately step on a body. It's just, Christ. Well, maybe the next town doesn't get slaughtered next time, right? Of course. And you see the tiefling. You see the... Oh, no! No! Okay, there we go. I almost messed up the... I almost messed up the overlay. You see the dwarf walk out with them all. What's up?
I opened up the stream just in time to see what happened.
Yep. You see them all heading out. They're kind of just like stepping around bodies, and you see the wood elf look over to you. Hey, hey there, pretty lady. Did some good work yesterday.
Thanks.
Mind if I ask where
Not
you?
the worst I've seen.
Mind if I ask where you're heading? Are you serious? We should be disturbing them right now. What? Well, we're making some new friends. Yeah, we're just having a lovely conversation. Well, hi. We are. It seems like he kind of hesitates with saying it. The Rune Squad. We appreciate you guys being here. A little bit to take in. It's nice to have a little backup, of course. Could have handled it on our own. You know we couldn't have. Did you see her popping around in and out of the all over the place? It's nonsense.
There's worse. There's far worse. But what would I be if I didn't protect my hometown?
Oh, so you're from here?
Born and raised.
Well, that explains it then. Not doing it out of the kindness of your heart, just, protecting it. No, of course. People got their own things going on, of course. Dunley, maybe we should stick to talking. Sorry. Well, thank you anyways. We're gonna be heading out here doing our Rune Squad stuff, maybe we'll cut you around, maybe get a drink.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll take it. And he grabs out one of his bags, just pulling out some ration. It's just like, want some, Dunley? Oh no, thanks, I'm good. We had a big breakfast there. Wow, dwarf doesn't want to eat. Christ. And he just pops a little bit of the dried jerky in his mouth, and they head off on their way.
Fine not seeing them again.
I don't really like them too much. They just seem cavalier. I agree. Roll perception for me.
What?
Christ, what is is that the mic?
I dropped my mic.
Geordi! God damn it.
Sorry. That's 20.
That's one. Shit. So.
I was trying to move things without touching the die.
So, as you're speaking, you're speaking with the gnome. You can hear off in the distance. You can hear heavy hooves, sounds of horses, drawing closer to the town. And waiting there, kind of looking off into the tree line, you can see these large war horses strolling up. Looks like a good handful of them, maybe a dozen. And as they
draw my guns, but I am nervous, so my hands near it.
Mm-hmm. You're preparing yourself for whoever it is that's trying to show up. As they turn the corner and show up in your vision, you can see that these are guys in very bolstered up plate armor. And they have these hammers that seem to have an elongated handle. So halfway between like a warhammer and a maul. Sort of like that. You see they're ornate with silver pieces set on the corners and stuff like that. And you can see that set on their arms are these they're more stout shields, but you see that on them is a symbol. You know these guys. You know these guys as the shield. Not the shield. I lied. You know them as the Sentinels.
relax a bit.
Gotta look up what the... Because I do have written down what their symbol looks like. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Bad DM time. Oh, wait. It's not here.
Scroll through all the notes.
So many notes. A lot of notes.
And we have like a conspiracy whiteboard, like all the fucking string attached to other shit.
Oh, so you see that the symbol, it is a shield, but instead of the actual shield, the Mercenary Guild, where they have a kite shield and then a large great sword set in the center, it looks to be a tower shield. And they cross kind of like the skull and crossbones type layout, except one end it has the depiction of their elongated warhammers, and on the other side what looks to be a exaggerated sketching of an olive branch. You see these guys roll up into town, and the first person that you see, most noticeably up in front, is this very large, probably very tall, brown-furred woolly loxodon with two trunks that just fully curl around themselves into loops. You see him bolstered up with the plate armor, and he as they stop, he stops up first. The rest of them slowly settle themselves on the horses, and then you feel that resonance from the ground as his weight hits the dirt, and you see that all in all he stands about 8 feet tall. None of them have their weapons out at the moment, but you see all of them get off of their horses. They have set the warhammers, instead of on their backs, they bring it down onto a loop, like a metal loop on their sides. They loop that around. And the Loxodon walks up to you. We got word that there was a heinous attack here. Are there any survivors?
A few, yeah.
Search the houses. We'll be taking them back to the capital. And he holds out his hand, kind of making a gesture towards the houses. You see the other sentinels rush off. They're knocking on doors, kind of like Aldrich and Titus did. They're off knocking on doors. And Titus, you see one of the sentinels actually look through the door. Another like heavily bolstered up plate armor human. And you don't see the symbol yet. You just see the guy in plate armor walking up to the door.
Shop's closed. Blacksmith died.
Can you come with us, please?
Where?
We're taking everyone from here to the capital.
Ah, sorry. Me and my friends already have a ride somewhere else.
It's our orders. We need you to come with us.
See, not from here. Just, closing this place up. Don't want anything to get.
I don't want to be rude, but this is the law. When you step onto the continent's shores and you walk among these districts, you're under rule of the capital, the council, and by extension, the sentinels.
You turned into a microwave.
Aldrich, your thoughts?
Well, he's trying not to give away that you guys are pirates, because the sentinels do not look too fondly on pirates, so he's trying to think of a rebuttal.
Alright.
Well,
Since
if I
my
may.
companion is also dumbfounded at the situation.
Well, if I may,
We
sir.
will go with,
Sorry.
but we are not going with you to the capital. We have business elsewhere. We are simply passing through.
If I.
You need to take stock of who survived, fine.
That is what we're doing.
If you try to load us up onto a cart, it's not gonna happen.
If I may, Sentinel, we are actually the ones that helped with this attack. We were helping to stop the attack, I should say. I'm sorry. We were stopping these criminals, these murderers, from doing any more damage. So we're not one of the survivors, we're one of the fighters.
Heroes.
Yes, if you want to be cavalier about it.
They were here. They saw.
Oh, I don't really want to be talking about those Rune Squad guys. They be causing a right load of trouble around here.
Doesn't everybody cause a little trouble until they're fully recognized as heroes? Isn't that kind of how it goes in most stories anyway?
Well, we ain't got heroes around here for 200 years, so we ain't really familiar. We just see trouble.
Alright, well, you can ask the town people.
Here. Just be out in the open so we can recognize you as survivors and be on your way.
Alright, fine. Let's finish boarding this place up.
Alright. So, you guys... He stands about 10 feet out, just kind of watching out to make sure that you guys are fully out in the open then. And, Jocelyn, you see the rest of the Sentinels. They knock on your mom's house, the door, and you see the rest of the crew kind of exit out. Eventually, you see everyone rushing, or not rushing, but they are kind of slowly brought out into the center. And when everyone is seeing the bodies, just like, shoot. We need to find a place to put all these. God damn it. What was your business? What was your business here but for the attack? You were just here for the festival, correct?
No. Me and my friends are looking for something.
Well, are you able to handle yourselves at least?
Yeah. I have commissioned Snow to give us a ride to Geordi after this, so...
Yes, they won't be causing any trouble while they're under my watch. All right. If you can spare any time to help with some of the survivors, we would appreciate it, but we're just here to get an assessment of the situation and clean up as best as we can. As long as we're not getting in each other's way, we would not have a problem.
With me.
He shakes his head, and as he's walking away, you feel again that resonance in the ground as his weight's being applied with each step. You just see how bulky this guy is. He doesn't seem to be like muscular, like Arnold Schwarzenegger buff, but it's just his natural size and his bulk that makes up the majority of his physical body, I guess.
Not a person I want to, kind of more under my breath and pretty much only people around me could hear. Not a person I want to get into a fight with. That's me.
Oh, no. I mean, they were. Yeah, there's a reason that they're called the Sentinels. The main law of the land, you know. That's why they get the good armors.
They have the land. I'm content with the sea. I just need to find this motherfucker. Get the fuck out.
Walk the sea, Ty says as he walks.
So you walk up.
The ocean.
You walk over. Aldrich also heads over. You see the rest of the crew is kind of like gathering themselves. Evelyn and Salenth are actually helping out with getting some people rounded up. And as all of the people that are still in town getting gathered up, some of the other sentinels are taking off bodies. And maybe after another minute, you see another one drawing a separate empty cart. And they're hauling the bodies up onto the boards, stacking them up and everything like that. Can you both you guys please roll perception for me?
Can I not? Is that an
You can
option?
you can choose not to and just not notice it.
I rolled a 4, so I don't think I'm noticing it anyways.
What was the one like weird rule that I heard of like somewhat recently? Is like I can choose to just roll a 10 and then add my plus afterwards.
I think that was for something where like if it's a task that you want to if it's a task that you need to succeed and you're just rolling low, you can just specify I want to take 10 plus whatever my modifier is, and
Yeah, it takes time to do that.
right. If it's something that takes multiple
20 takes hours.
right. Yeah, you just specify that as I want to see it.
19. But yeah, I was just curious. I didn't remember. I remember the rule being a thing, but I just circumstances were for that.
Mm-hmm. So, as you guys are brought together, Jocelyn, I imagine you're explaining that, okay, the gnome's going to be taking us over to the next place, and you guys kind of work out the arrangements and everything like that. You start hearing a very uncomfortable grumbling.
Why?
And
I regret noticing this.
you notice that past the actual town, there's a wide dirt path that kind of winds around for maybe 50 yards, and you see that this the mountain that's behind this district has the mines in it. You know, there's a couple of openings. There's like 2 openings at the ground level, and then 3 as you take up a ramp. There's a ramp that goes up about 10 feet, and then there's 3 more openings into the mines below this mountain. And you are hearing it from the mines. Nobody else seems to notice this yet.
What the fuck is it? What?
You don't know.
It's a grumbling coming from the mines.
Yeah.
I'm gonna out loud. What the fuck is that?
The fuck is what?
What do you mean?
You not hear that? Coming from the mines.
It's louder and louder.
I don't trust this.
Titus,
I don't trust you.
you start hearing it.
Okay, I hear it now.
Aldrich,
It's not just...
it's not just her anymore. And then you hear screeching.
That's what? No.
Tell me it's just a lot of bats. Tell me it's just a lot of bats. Tell me it's just a lot of bats. For the love of God, let it be a lot of bats.
There's a mixing of this like rumbling in the ground, the like grumbles, and then screeching. There's a mix of that, and it starts growing louder and louder and louder. And eventually you start seeing the sentinels start they start looking over towards the mine, seeing what's going on. And as everyone is stopping, all the civilians too are now noticing it as they look over, and they're starting to back up a slow bit. Already being like shell-shocked from what happened yesterday, they're just like automatically on the back foot, like wanting to get out, like get the fuck out of there.
If it sounds like it's getting louder, I'm drawing my gun.
So it is getting louder and louder. You draw out your pistols. You see
I draw my blade.
the rest of the crew starts bringing out their weapons and everything. The sentinels, you see that the stout shields that they had on their arms, they throw their arms down, and all of you guys see that just these stout shields on their forearms have now turned into full-on tower shields. The Loxodon throws down his arm, and the tower shield is as tall as he is. All of the sentinels start making a formation around the civilians. With their shields out, they've pulled out their hammers, and it gets louder and louder and louder. You start seeing the rocks of the mountain itself start like cracking around. You hear that getting louder and louder. Eventually, there's boulders that start rolling down with the shaking of the mountain and just collapsing down onto the ground. More rock begins to like chip off and crack around the openings. And you start seeing this red light from the entranceway.
I begin to mentally prepare my sentinels to pop my necrotic shroud.
And then, in an instant, there's a explosion of fire that erupts out of the mine's entrance. You see it just barrel out 50 feet out, torrenting in like these waves above you guys in the air. Smoke beginning to like billow out over the top of it. And it
Fucking adult dragging you in there? What the fuck?
And then from the fire, as the rumbling and the screeching gets louder and louder, you see these humanoid figures.
I just hear Henry go, this is bullshit. He slams his desk twice. That broke everything. In my mind, went for a burst, Jimmy.
Is
like,
gone.
Watch not to kill him.
From the fire, you see these figures start walking out. They have
It's through the fire and flames. It's like,
no, because
copyright issue.
yep.
That's what's playing in my head, right?
No, I mean, you can if you'd like to. Perfectly fine with me. They have this deep gray skin, and they wear this bronze armor that it looks like boots, bracers, and a breastplate with a tall, ornate shoulder piece on each one of them. But you don't see their face. You just see bronze masks on their heads, depicting the image of like a bald human. And they hold onto these tall halberds. You see dozens of these things.
Why?
And as they're marching out, you can also see from the other entrances, you see these tall, lanky creatures with long, sharpened claws. Same deep skin, like the deep gray skin, except they're very, very skinny, like bone skinny, like Geordi skinny. They have these gnarled maws and what looks like a horn that kind of grows off the back of the head and curves up to the front. You see some of those. You also see these creatures that look like they have 4 legs, and they have 3 legs and 3 arms, and then 3 eyes that bulge out from the top of their bodies, but the entire center of their body is a giant mouth with sharp teeth. And breaking through the mountain itself are these large, ham-fisted, orange-furred, ape-looking creatures. One of the bronze-wearing humanoid figures looks off, and he turns the halberd straight towards the town. and they all just charge in.
Why?
And you see the Sentinels, seeing how many of these things there are, they've had their shields out, but now as they hold their hammers, you see the hammers all beam with radiant energy. And the Loxodon holds up his hammer. It is war. Then we have war. Sentinels, hold the line. And as these things start charging in, the Sentinels bolster up a wall of shields, and there's just a huge clash between these two forces. What do you guys want to do?
I'm not leaving these people to die.
Alright. So, how many
Especially because one of
Sentinels
them
are
is
there?
like, there's a lot of things. There's an army of things.
But how many Sentinels are there?
There are 12.
Alright, 12 Sentinels, 6 of us, that's 18 deep. How many of those things are? Rough estimate.
It's hard to get exact numbers because it looks like there are some of them that are still like making their way out of the mine entrance. But from what you see right now, there's maybe 50 of these bronze-wearing humanoids. About another handful of the tall, lanky, skeletal-like creatures. There's 20 or so that you can see right now of those little, like, 3-armed maw creatures, and 5 of the apes.
Okay. And then
Is
some
there-
humans to worry about.
Yeah, is there a way for them to, leave
Who?
the cities?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Sentinels have made that wall where it said, hold the line. It's protecting the civilians that are centered in the town square. So they can book it behind them if they like to.
I'm gonna yell for that cart to get out of here.
Go, go, go! And you see there were 2 Sentinels manning that cart. There were 2 horses put on it. One of them goes off arming himself, and he says, take it back. We'll handle this. And the cart takes off. And you see another one of the Sentinels run up, going up to the line to try and get into the fray.
And
That Sentinel actually, as he runs by you, he says, go, go, go. We can handle this. Whether you do that or not is up to you guys, but
fighting.
I need these people to be safe. Specific gesturing towards, like, the cities.
mhm.
So are we running or fighting?
Good way to get experience, right? Gotta fight a god eventually.
Alright then. Status is popping Necrotic Shroud, leaping over the line, and diving into the fray.
All right. So
Same, guns blazing.
you guys, are you telling the rest of the crew to head in? Or are you telling them to get out?
Do what they want to do.
They're likely gonna follow you regardless.
Do what your heart desires.
Give me one
Get
sec.
yourselves to safety or stay and fight.
Give me one
Oh, yeah,
sec.
do I have to roll to leap over a tower shield?
Yeah.
What would that be? That acrobatics?
Acrobatics or athletics? One of the two.
Acrobatics.
Attic City.
22. And I'm popping the necrotic shroud as I leave
So
because it looks dramatic and cool.
23. So you guys have to actually use like the armor itself to like, but you're not like straight up climbing it. You're essentially like bounding between.
Springboarding off of them.
Yeah, you're like springboarding off of the different sentinels' armors, and then eventually jump over and you start leaping into the fray. So I said 50 of them.
Didn't actually plan for us to fight these.
You know how much in characters is great experience in like a literal sense of like, hey, we're gonna be able to like, if we can take care of this pretty thoroughly, we can definitely take care of a god.
In character, Titus was just like, are we running or fighting? If we're fighting, I might as well die guns blazing. Metaphorically. Because I don't have guns.
I don't know, the amount of experience we'll actually get from this is gonna be, if we live.
So you guys start running in, and as you've jumped into the fray, you see that the rest of your crew, after a couple of seconds of contemplation, they all stand their ground. They pull out their weapons, and they follow you into the fray.
I'm gonna need everything around me to make a saving throw against the necrotic shroud.
Well, actually, that's where we're going to cut it.
5.
Because if you guys are actually doing this battle,
This is not ending in.
it's not end. Nope. It might take more. I'm not saying this to like scare you off or anything. You've made your choice. I'm cool with it. Like, it's just this fight itself.
You gave the option.
Well, because I don't want to take away too much play. That's another thing with reading the whole like horror stories thing. I don't want to take away the player agency in the sense of you have to do this or you die. I wanted to open it up as if you literally want to go in there, you can. You know the risk as player and as character, but it's open to you. So this fight, with how big, with how many are on both sides, it might take more than one session. Just be aware of that. So yeah. That is it for today's session of Adventures in Razfaroh with the crew. Do you have a name for the crew, by the way, Jocelyn?
Did at one point. I never wrote it down. I got upset that the ship died, so it died. The name died there as well. I'll have it for next session.
I think I had it written down here.
I know the ship name, but that ship's dead, so.
I mean, you named the first ship the Bloody Knight. So if you just want to call them Pirates of the Bloody Knight. That's up to you, though. I'm just curious more as far as like how to refer to them.
Oh, for sure. No.
We have to name them.
I've been scared to name things now because die when.
Hey, guns can't die, so you can name those.
Also, George, have you pulled out the pistols, or did you bring out the blaster gun?
Pistols.
Pistols. Okay.
I have multiple blaster guns?
Well, you have one.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, what? Blaster gun.
You-
That's what I have.
Right.
It's singular.
So yeah.
I have my pistols out.
All right. So we end today's session with
I hate
the end of one battle, and well, we start with the end of one battle and we end with the start of a whole new battle.
This will be one hell of a story if we live through this shit.
And I will tell it all the way to my grave. Which,
So we will live out this battle next week.
I don't know, and that grave might be coming pretty soon. I don't know, man.
So, you guys want to shout anything out? Say anything to the audience that's stuck around?
Anybody stick around? Yeah, Fallon's still here.
She's probably lurking, but that's cool.
If she do.
Yep.
Do my usual shout out of my channel.
Yep.
My gaming shit, which I didn't post today, is dumb. And I didn't edit over the weekend. Also, I lost 3 weeks worth of footage, so that's cool.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Did not sound like a good time.
Of my life, but yeah, just fucking in the chat. There's a link to my YouTube channel. Check it out if you want to see me fuck around in games and be bad, for the most part. I get through them.
Eventually.
Not the cleanest playthrough, but it's done. I'm having fun. I have fun doing it.
Have you done Dark Souls?
I have beaten all 3.
What about Bloodborne?
Haven't beaten it. Got to the final boss, died a lot. It's like, alright, can't do this. Come back to this
First
one.
presence or,
Hunter dude.
Did
I
you do
haven't
the
even-
DLC?
No. I was trying to. That's even worse.
Yeah, a lot of people get stuff after the first one because Jesus H. Christ, they're huge.
I don't even know where. I'm in like a tower area. I'm trying to get to.
I got all the way to Warfare.
I gave up with the DLC. I'll do a recording of that actually. Get around to it. But yeah, check out my gaming stuff. It's fun.
I swear.
I don't give a fuck, really. It's a hobby. Do what you want to do.
Harper, is there anything you want to say to the people?
Drink water.
Lots of water. Drink all that water as I drink my tea.
Your body's like 80%, 60 to 80% water, so drink it. Also, another interesting thing, Jesus can turn water into wine. Body's like 60 to 80% water. He can turn you to 60 80% wine and kill you. Congrats.
I mean, would he though? Like, I mean, he could, yes, but would he? Like,
No one really knows Jesus.
No.
Hey.
He may want to at this point.
who knows? We do have a couple things going on this week as well, including this. So,
Can we get experience?
actually, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, because you both did stuff. You both did some pretty good stuff with role playing. Slap on
Got my shit kicked in.
slap on some 300 XP for the role playing in the session.
Yeah, brother.
10,600. Sweet. Do I get bonus XP for getting hit by a fucking angel? Not for me.
Put on an extra 50.
Yeah, survive the punch from an angel. That 50 XP is probably actually going to come in handy at some point in my life.
So today we had Adventures in Razfaroh. Tomorrow on the Real Tix channel, we're going to be doing Reign of Chaos, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are actually doing it this week, as opposed to saying that we're doing it, and then at the very last minute, not doing it, and then leaving everyone who actually wanted to watch it, like, confused and scared. So, we are actually doing it. We've planned it with everyone's schedule, so we are actually going to be doing it Tuesday, 7 p.m. And then Wednesday,
Did you not do it last week?
we did not do it last week, no. But a lot of scheduling issues, so we just decided to postpone it
I'll
until...
be available tomorrow. I don't have work
So you see Geordi there. Yay! And it's actually a pretty significant... Well, it's the end of their main quest and tomorrow. So, either tomorrow...
The thing where Shadow was there.
Yep. So,
I wasn't going to be able to be there.
yeah.
Now I can be there.
So, we can do that. It's the end of their quest either tomorrow or next week. Depends on how long that encounter goes. But yes, tomorrow, Reign of Chaos. Wednesday, I think we're doing it at 7 p.m. Maybe 6, maybe 7. But we're doing another one of the one-shots. I'll have that here, and then Nick, the Real Tick, is probably going to also have it on his channel. But we're going to be running a level 20 one-shot on Wednesday. And we will have...
I can be there for that as well.
Oh, there you go.
If you need a person, I'm down.
Wow. I can't...
I'll let you know.
I got 4 days
Yeah,
off
we
in a row.
we got a good number of people as it.
I'm off till Saturday. So...
Shit.
If you want to drag Harbor to the 20... Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't give a fuck.
I
I'll watch.
want to dust off my old monk.
I'm
and
fine with
piss
watching.
everything into oblivion.
And if you
Well,
want to introduce your group to Harbor officially.
Right. But yeah, we'll figure that out between today and we'll figure that out between tomorrow and Wednesday. Yeah, we're gonna
Right now and Wednesday.
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, level 21 shot, and we're not gonna have the donations things down there because, you know, we got real messed up with the card of the deck of many things last time.
I think it's kind of your fault.
Oh no, it definitely was. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying it happened. So, A, because of that, and B, because it's already level 20. So I don't see any. I just see it being a cheap shot to kind of have those things posted like, hey, you know, you can nudge them along this way, except they're already at max level. They're probably going to have really good items. So it just doesn't seem necessary to put those down there.
But keep like donations up for inspiration, revive, add a monster in to kill them. You know, fun stuff.
We might do that then. You can just completely screw them over instead of, well, you can help them and you can also hurt them, but it won't be to the extent of like items and things like that. Well, yeah, so we'll probably have it like that. Yeah, we'll still have the donations, just less so. Just because, you know, level 20 stuff.
It'll be more of a hindrance rather than...
Right. So we'll have that figured out for Wednesday, but yes, either 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we're going to have that. So if you want to check that out, be there, hang out, I'm perfectly cool with that. However long you stay or however many people go, I will be happy with it regardless. So, guys in the VOD, guys in stream, thanks so much for being here today, and we will see you next week. Peace.